So with Pokemon turning 27 this year, I decided to go back and play some of the old games I used to own, and sure enough, Pokemon still holds up. These old games are fun, and they're still challenging compared to most Pokemon games. However, I noticed that there is definitely a lot of creepy moments in these games that I had never noticed before or just looked over. So I decided to why not make a video about them. And yeah, I know there's gonna be some generic ones like Lavender Town or a couple Pokedex entries, but you can't help it. Like, this is just there. You have to talk about it. Now, I won't only just be going over the most common stuff, but also some stuff that not many people talk about or I see mentioned that much. Also, I will bring in some theories, some more common than others, some a little bit more obscure, and maybe, just maybe, a little creepypasta towards the end. But you will have to wait till the end of the video to find out. So with that being said, let's just jump right into it. So, Parasect is a Pokemon that was introduced in the original Pokemon games, Red and Blue, and it is a bug and grass type. And not much could be said about Parasect. I mean, its stats aren't really anything to show about. It's not really that well known, and it's just really a normal Pokemon. So why bring it up? Well, that is until you read some of its Pokedex entries, and things get a little bit more interesting with this one. Its Red and Blue Pokedex reads, a host-parasite pair in which the parasite mushroom has taken over the host bug. Prefers damp places. Okay, well, maybe it's just the one in console. What about other regions? This one from Diamond and Pearl, a mushroom grown larger than the host body controls Parasect. It scatters poisonous spores. Okay, let's try one more. Maybe one that is a little bit more up-to-date. This one is from Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. The bug host is drained of energy by the mushrooms on its back. The mushroom appears to be doing all the thinking. So yeah, it looks like the actual Pokemon is the mushroom and not the bug itself. Which, actually, when you look at the Pokemon, it makes sense, because if you look at its eyes, it's completely hollow, and if you were to take out the mushroom, there would probably be a big open gap. And the thing is that this is happened in real life. If you guys have played The Last of Us, you'd know what I'm talking about. It is eerily similar like Cordyceps. Actually, no, it is exactly like Cordyceps, where it takes over the bug and just controls it and puts it in a damp spot where it can grow and spread its spores. Which is kind of sad when you think about it, considering this bug loses its ability to think and as soon as it evolves. So yeah, that's kind of creepy. So in Pokemon Platinum on Route 217, if you go to the top right corner, you will see a house. When you enter into the house, the lights will be dark, but there will be a woman sitting on a chair. If you talk to her, she explains to you the spell tag and she gives it to you. However, if you leave and then come back, the woman would have been gone and there would be no sign of her. Nothing, no text box, just absolutely gone. And if you look at the item, it says that it keeps ghosts away. So there's not really much an explanation for as to what happened to the woman and who she was. Maybe it could have been someone who unfortunately passed away due to the extreme cold and there was no way to warm herself up. Another theory that I remember hearing about, but I couldn't find anyone or any sources, but apparently that it might have been a Frostlass in disguise. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, this is eerily similar, however, to another thing that happened in one of the future Pokemon games, actually. In Pokemon X&Y in Anastar City, there is an old guy in one of these buildings where if you talk to him, he talks about how depressed he is and how he has nothing in his life to live for. He then asks you if he can borrow a Pokemon of yours that is level 5 or below, and if you give him, he will take care of the Pokemon. However, if you wait a day or so and come back, you will then see him gone. However, there will be a Pokemon on the ground, and if you pick it up, which is an escape rope and a note attached to it, and it would basically say this, that the old man thanks you and your Pokemon for showing him great kindness and how your Pokemon kept him smiling through the very end. Now, he also says that he has to leave the Pokemon because wherever he's going, he is not able to take him with it, and he can't take care of it. So, Yeah, it's kind of creepy that Pokemon has these types of moments that are overlooked throughout the whole main adventure. I mean, you've got, people disappearing, whether or not they're real, and you got people offing themselves. It's kind of unsettling, and also, at no point do these events ever get brought up. Just like the Ghost Girl, they're never brought up or mentioned by anyone of any kind. And they don't ever return unless you restart the game, so that's kind of unsettling if you ask me. Okay, we all knew this was coming, so I won't try to dwell on this one for too long. But basically, in Pokemon X and Y, in one of the buildings in Lumino City, if you go to the second floor, a cutscene will trigger, and this is what happens. And we know she's a ghost and not an NPC because we don't see her with the normal walking animation. If anything, she's more floaty. And this isn't the last time we see her, as we do see her twice. Once again, we see her in Pokemon X and Y. This time, however, we see her in one of the hotel rooms in Lumino City, and she's just there, sitting next to a wall, listening, apparently waiting for the elevator. We then later see her in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire in the graveyard, and when you talk to her, she says once again, "You are not the one." To add more mystery, if you go to the train station in Pokemon X and Y, there's a note behind one of the boards saying, "I'm going to go get help, wait for me in the usual spot." Now, a lot of people have said there is no connection, some have said there is a connection. I think there is a connection, considering every time you interact with her, she says that you are not the one. Obviously, you are not the one she's waiting for, so yeah, and this has never been explained in any of the other future installments as well, nor has there been any official word from the developers. It could be that it could have been solved in Pokemon Z, in the game that we unfortunately never got, but yeah, there's a lot of theories out there as to what happened to this girl and what her story is, but again, we can only speculate and theorize, as we have yet to get an official answer. Maybe in the supposed Kalos DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet might answer some of those questions. In Pokemon Platinum, there's an old abandoned mansion called the Old Chateau. When you first stumbled upon it, you're not able to access it as you don't have cuts, and even if you do, you're not able to use it as you don't have the gym badge to use it, which in order to get it, you have to fight Gardena. However, after defeating her and you go back to where the mansion is, you see that she's outside looking into it. And when you talk to her, she says that she explored it earlier but found absolutely nothing. So that begs the question, well, what's so special about it? Well, when you use cut and you finally enter, at first you're only able to find some Ghastlies, and later on you are able to find a Rotom, at least in Platinum, on the TV. However, there's definitely a lot more to this story than what you think. If you interact with some of the statues, it says that you feel like you're being watched. And if you go in one of the rooms, you'd find a painting with red eyes. And if you get close to it, the red eyes disappear. And it seems that these red eyes are that of a Gengar, as not only is the figure purple, but the eyes are red, like I said. And any room you go to, these red eyes follow you no matter where you go. Now, I think the big part, however, that is really famous for this place is the two ghosts. In the off chance that you enter in one of these rooms, right next to it you'll find a little girl. No text, no nothing, a little cutscene of a little girl just walking out of the room. And when you go into the room she was just in, she's nowhere to be found. And downstairs, there's also a chance where you'll run into the butler, and he does the same thing where he's walking in a straight line and heads into the next room. However, if you go to the next room, there is nothing, no one there. Now, there's a lot of explanations as to what happened here. One of the big popular theories is that Gardena had accidentally murdered her sister, and the old butler is actually not a butler, but the grandpa, and apparently he was gonna bless the little girl in becoming the gym leader, and Gardena got jealous, and so she murdered both of them by accident. I don't know how that would work, but that would also explain why you do find an antidote in the trash can. Another theory could be is that the Rotom had something to do with that. It accidentally killed the butler and the little girl. There is a Pokemon Origins video out there on the old Chateau, but it doesn't really do anything explaining as to what happened, just sort of a scary sequence. But yeah, there's a lot of theories floating around as to what happened. Could it be true? Could any of them be true? Or could it just be Ghastly once again playing tricks on the player? Who knows? Even in the remakes, we never got a clear answer. But for right now, it is a mystery. So this is going to be our last entry for today, but there's a reason why I picked Hypno, as he is probably the most creepiest Pokemon out of all of them. And, well, what do I mean by that? Well, let's see what they do in Fire Red and Leaf Green. In Pokemon Fire Red, in one of the islands, there's a side mission where you have to save a little girl that was lured by a Pokemon into the berry forest. Now, who is that Pokemon exactly? Well, it's none other than Hypno himself. When you talk to the little girl, you will be thrown into a battle with Hypno. Now, here you'll be given the option to either catch it or just battle it and make it faint. If you capture it and you read its Pokedex entry, it will say the following. It carries a penundulum-like device. There was once an incident in which it took a child it hypnotized away. But that's just one Pokedex, so let's try and read other entries from other games. Avoid eye contact if you come across one. It will try to put you to sleep by using its penundulum. Okay, let's try another one then. When it's very hungry, it puts human to sleep, then feast on their dreams. So yeah, now you see why I consider Hypno to be unsettling. However, the fan base decided to take it a step further. So there's a creepypasta out there called Hypno'slullaby, which is basically, as the title states, a lullaby made by, I guess, the Pokemon Hypno, or dedicated to Hypno. And I'll just play a fan-made song of it. Just listen to it.
Come, little children, come with me. Safe and happy you will be. Away from home, now let us run. With Hypno you'll have so much fun. Oh, little children, please don't cry. Hypno wouldn't hurt to fly. Be free to frolic, free to play. Come with me to my cave to stay. Oh, little children, please don't squirm. These ropes I know will hold you firm. Now look to me, the pendant calls. Back and forth your eyelids fall. Oh, little children, you cannot leave. For you, your families will grieve. Mine's unraveling at the seams, allowing me to haunt their dreams. Do not wail and do not weep. It's time for you to go to sleep. Little children, you were not clever. Now you'll stay with me forever.
Now, of course, like with every creepypasta out there, there is a game attached to the creepypasta, and sure enough, this is no different, as there is a game out there called Hypno'slullaby, shocker, and it's basically just a Fire Red and Leaf Green mission, except instead of, having your whole team and it being in the last game, you actually start off in a random house, and you get to choose either between a Vulpix or a Marill, and you then have to fight Hypno, who is level 100, so automatically you're going to lose, and basically throughout the whole game, you are trying to escape out of Hypno's, I guess, dream world or something, and in the end, you basically die, or you lose, or you become trapped, whatever. Yeah, the game is out there, it's not that interesting. I mean, it's a generic creepypasta game, but that's pretty much all I can say on it. So yeah, that was the most creepiest things I could find in the Pokemon franchise. Now obviously there was a lot more that I could cover, but these were just some of my favorites that I wanted to talk about. It's interesting that Pokemon is designed for children. However, they manage to sneak in very creepy and sometimes even disturbing things in these games, right under our noses. And I haven't played Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Let me know if there's any creepy stuff in there that I should cover, because I definitely want to make a part 2. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to check out my other videos. And with that being said, I am out.